Okay, so as part of this webinar today, we have Anita Douglas here. Hi Anita, how are you?
Hi Natalie, I'm really good, thank you.
Great, and what we're going to do is just ask you some questions if that's okay, to give the audience a bit of an insight as to what you do or what you don't do, as it may be, and just some questions along the way. So Anita, what do you do?
Yeah, I guess what don't I do might be more appropriate really. So I'm involved in several different businesses. I started my own business 9 years ago, which was Leading Results, and we specialise in leadership and management development. So we do lots of, pre-lockdown, lots of leadership training, coaching. We work in organisations around talent management, or everything and anything to do with leadership and management. So I started that 9 years ago, and then just in the last year, I have moved up to the Highlands in Scotland, which I absolutely love. It's absolutely brilliant, and we've taken over a business up here, just a small glamping business, so luxury pods. My husband John retired last year, and it was a kind of just something to keep him busy whilst locating to an area that we absolutely love. We've toured Scotland. We've both lived in Scotland for many years, toured Scotland in our camper, etc. So always knew we wanted to settle in the Highlands. So we got the glamping business. So I do pretty much the back of house stuff. So John does all the cleaning and seeing the guests in, whereas I do the bookings, the payments, that type of thing, keeping an eye on it. And then just as we went into lockdown, I, like a lot of people, a lot of the work that we were doing within businesses came to a bit of a standstill, and I was like, I just didn't want to do nothing. And so I have a very good friend of mine, Rachel, and we have worked together in the mental health space, therapy space for a long time now, trained together, and we just decided that it was a really good time to help as many people as we can, and you can't do that on a one-to-one basis. So we launched Bounce Back Ability, which I have to say is my new passion now. I know, brilliant. I love it, and I've even got a Bounce Back Ability mug. So, and actually, our main aim, it wasn't really a commercial aim at all. It was about getting lots of information out there, recognizing that people would be feeling very anxious, worried, all sorts of things going on, and knowing how the brain works and knowing about mental health. We just wanted to help as many people as we can. So we launched with a Facebook page, and we've put out videos, worksheets, podcasts, etc. So at the moment, I'm kind of managing my time between the three businesses at the moment, which is a challenge, but I love a challenge, and as you know, and keeps me busy and out of trouble, really.
Absolutely, fab. So what would you say, what's been your biggest successes, do you think?
Personally, I think there's a couple, and the one that really springs to mind for me was I qualified in 2013 as a chartered occupational psychologist after many years studying, and I think the reason for me personally that this was a really I always see it as a big personal achievement for me is I left school, I'm going to show my age now, so I left school having done my O-levels, and did reasonably okay, went on and did my A-levels, but I think at the time, if you think about psychology and the work that I do now, I think I did maths, computer science and economics. Didn't enjoy them and didn't really achieve anything. I think I failed every single one of them. I didn't even get an O-level in the O-levels I got the year before, sort of thing. It was so bad.
Well,
and I kind of got into the world of work, and I think as you do, you tell yourself a story, and my story was always, I'm not academic. And I really believed that, and I really didn't think I was a clever person. I was okay with that. I've always been okay with all of my abilities, and I was okay with that. But I told myself this story. I wasn't academic. I wasn't clever. There's no way that I would have been able to go to university and all of this sort of stuff. And it was as I started my career in training and development about 20 years ago. It was with Audi UK, and I had a really good mentor who's actually my business partner in Leading Results Story. And she got me involved in the Open University and doing some leadership and management courses myself. One thing led to another, and that's how I got involved in psychology. And so it's been a long journey, because actually to become a chartered psychologist, you have to do the degree, the master's, and then you have to do a kind of what is a doctorate level qualification. So I think all in all, if I counted it all up, I've probably been on that journey for about 15 years. You know, for me, I talk a lot of the stuff that I do, both at Leading Results and Bounce Back Ability, is about resilience. And for me, it was that keeping going. And I have to work really hard at it. I still actually believe I'm not that academic, and I have to work really hard at it. But it's been an amazing journey, and I've loved it. And I get involved in things now that I absolutely love to do, and I continue that journey and my learning with the OU as it is. So yeah, a massive achievement. And I think the second thing has to be starting up and going out on my own. I never in a million years, as a young person, thought I could ever run a business, never mind 3 businesses. And I think you take risks. It's a worry, it's a concern, but it's been the best thing ever. So
great, good. So what advice would you give to women in business?
Do you know what I think first of all is, feel the fear and do it anyway. I think lots of times we have a fear of failure or a fear of being judged, and I think we have to remind ourselves that there's a real good purpose to fear. Fear tells us to proceed with caution. And if you're going from a full-time paid job into doing something for yourself, you're going to want to proceed with caution. But I think it's just remembering and hammering home to yourself that fear doesn't mean don't do it. It just means proceed with caution. So I think that kind of feel the fear and do it anyway, and be prepared to take risks. And almost go out on a limb and try to fail, because failure, in my eyes, failure doesn't exist. I really struggle if you say name one thing that you failed at. Well, yeah, I failed my A-levels, but it led me on a path to where I am now. So how can I call that a failure? Because had I not failed my A-levels, I might not have come on this path, and who knows where I might have been, sort of thing. So I think be kind to yourself. I think I think there's a lot of that sort of, how do we measure up against everybody else? Be yourself, be proud of who you are. You only show up the best person that you can be, and be okay with who you are, be okay with your abilities, challenge yourself and push yourself, but don't ever compare yourself. Don't ever put anybody else on a pedestal. Don't ever compare yourself to anybody else. By all means, look for mentors and people that can inspire you, but don't want to be them. Be yourself. I think definitely would be a couple of things. There is this narrative, isn't there, about women in business, and I work predominantly in the automotive industry, where it's I guess arguably you could describe it as male orientated. Forget male or female, it's about your abilities, it's about your skills, it's about who you are. Just show up and be the best version of you.
Brilliant advice. You know exactly why you're doing what you're doing. You're just fab. And if you were to rewind and go back to the beginning again, what would you do different, do you think?
Natalie, honestly, I just have more faith in myself. I think loads of people have faith in me. I'm really lucky. I'm surrounded by, I've got a fabulous husband, brilliant family. I've got amazing friends, all who have faith in me. And I think the one person that lacked that faith, particularly early on, was myself. So I think, I would definitely have more faith in myself. If I go back and do anything again, if I could meet my younger self, it would just be what I've said, is be okay being you. We're born to stand out, not fit in. And I think for a long time in my early days in business, it was about how did I measure up? How did I fit in? God forbid, in the boardroom, when I got my first board post, did I, have something different to say, and just having that courage. So for me, my biggest lesson over the last 30 odd years in business has been be yourself and be proud of who you are. So
brilliant, great. Obviously 2020 has been a very bizarre and unpredictable year. Wow. What does like we were all ready for this, but what does the rest of 2020 look like for you in business?
Thankfully, so with the leadership and management, the diary is now, we're starting to get work back in, mainly because we've been very proactive, and we've realised that we have to fit within the situation, as opposed to wanting it to go back to how it was. So we've spent a lot of time working really hard, where ordinarily we'd be face-to-face doing skills days, where we're now actually running all of those virtually, very interactive. I'm getting really great feedback that the delegates are feeling like they're not getting anything less than what they would have done if we were face-to-face. So that kind of, for me, it's a year of adaptation. It's adapting what you do, how you do it, fitting in with the situation, as opposed to really kind of being resistant to the situation. I think that would be really dangerous. And I think it is. It's a really massive, fantastic opportunity to be creative and do things differently that you wouldn't have done, because you're in a situation where it's okay to do things differently. I think the pods will get obviously a little bit quieter in what essentially is the closed season in hospitality. We're still going to be open. I love that business. I love people coming up and enjoying what I enjoy every day. And I think we've bounced back.
Those views, show us your views.
I know. My view out the window. Here we go. Oh no, I can't. I've got my different camera on. But it's just awesome. You can't come up here and not chill and relax. It's a real grounding experience. And I think, a big focus for me going forward is bounce back ability, because I do think, one, the stigma of mental health, I think we are talking about it now. It still exists. We've got the strap line. It's okay not to be okay. It is. But you need to reach out if you're not okay. It's just a bit like physical health. If you found a lump that shouldn't be there, you'd go and get it checked out. And I think sometimes, we'll take ourselves off to a spa or, on the golf course for the guys and chill and relax physically. We've got to be able to do that mentally as well. And I think, there's going to be a lot of people out there are going to go through, quite a lot of adversity, a lot of challenge in this adapting and, with the ongoing sort of situation. So I just want to help as many people as we can get through that and keep them emotionally well. So yeah, it's going to be a busy, it's going to be different. I think everybody's day is different, but different doesn't mean it's wrong. It can sometimes be uncomfortable, but we have a brilliant saying in our company: we've just got to get comfortable being uncomfortable for a while, and hopefully by the end of 2021, whatever it looks like, will start to feel a little bit, a little bit more normal, but it won't be the same. So.
Absolutely. Great. Thanks so much, Anita. Can't wait to get up to the pods very, very soon once I'm back out of lockdown again.
How many times have we tried now? And every time it ends up
Absolutely. Take care. That was great. Thank you.
Thank you.